it's your girl Unique. Welcome back to Locked In Real Conversations. Here for another episode with my good friend, Miss Tanika Hogan Allison. Yay! All right, so last week we talked about grief, and this time I want to just talk about how we can move forward in grief and wear many hats at the same time. So before we get started, I just want to do a brief introduction on Miss Tanika, and she wears a million hats. So if you know her, you know she has her hand in everything. There are people who simply work in a profession, and then there are those who use their profession to change lives, and Tanika is definitely one of them. Today's guest, she is a cosmetologist, and you might think about beautiful hair, flawless styles, or confidence in the mirror, but our guest reminds us that beauty is so much deeper than what we see on the outside. She's an educator, a mentor, a leader, an entrepreneur, and above all, a woman committed to pouring into her community. Born and raised in Youngstown, Ohio, Tanika has dedicated her life to helping people discover their confidence, purpose, and potential. As an advanced cosmetologist and a licensed cosmetology instructor at Chauvin Career and Technical Center, she isn't just teaching students how to master a craft, she's preparing them to build careers, businesses, and legacies. Her impact reaches far beyond the classroom. For years, she served her community through leadership with Dangerous Curves, holding several positions: secretary, public relations, vice president, and president. Through fundraising, mentorship, and community outreach, she's helped create opportunities and hope for countless families throughout Mahoning Valley. And because one calling is never enough for a servant leader, she has stepped into yet another role, serving as a cheerleading coach for Youngstown High School, where she is helping young women develop discipline, confidence, teamwork, resilience, and pride, both on and off the sidelines. Whether she's behind the chair, standing in front of a classroom, leading a community initiative, or encouraging young athletes to believe in themselves, Tanika leads with purpose. Today, we're going beyond hair. We're talking about leadership, legacy, service, mentorship, and community, and how one woman continues to make an impact one life at a time. Youngstown, help me welcome Tanika. Ooh, that sounds good. That's you, girl.
Dang, I didn't realize I did all that.
Absolutely. That's all you. I appreciate you coming here today. Welcome to Locked In Real Conversations, the podcast where beauty meets healing. Every conversation has power to change a life. And that's what I want to do here with this series, is show leaders in our community and show them that they haven't always been there. You know what I mean? You've worked hard to get to where you're at. So I want you to be able to share that story with us as well. So let's get into it. So again, you wear many hats. So you're an educator, entrepreneur, cosmetology instructor, cheerleading coach, a mother, most important, and a community leader. Which role actually shaped you the most?
The role that shaped me the most is being a mom. I didn't really start taking anything serious until I had my daughter.
Okay.
I was working in the salon. I came from a spoiled background. So I knew I wanted to do hair, but like I had my family to fall back on for everything. But once my grandmother passed away, who was like my absolute favorite person in the world, and I was living on my own once I had my daughter, once I actually had her and looked at her, I said, ooh, I gotta take care of you, so I gotta figure this out.
It's a real human.
Yes, I've named you and everything. Like, you look like me a little bit. So let me figure out what I'm gonna do. So it put me in overdrive to start advertising my business. You know, doing everything I need to do to build.
Has your answer changed over the years?
My kids are my everything. It's funny, I have a tattoo on my hand. It's an anchor and a bow. My daughter was my gift and my son is my anchor. So like they're my everything. The reason why I do everything, like my daughter graduates this year, and every time I think about her living her life, I'm like boo-hoo crying. Like, Yeah, it's a lot, but being a mom is the best ever. God gifted them to me, and I couldn't ask for anything greater.
Absolutely. And I think I share that with you. First, my twins, they're turning 21 in November.
Ooh, jeez.
And one is going to New York and one is going to Florida. And I'm just sitting there like, no, I need to come with you. I'm trying to book flights with them. And I'm like, you can't be living your life.
Girl, you look 21. What you mean you got 21-year-olds?
Yes, they'll be 21. And then I have an 18-year-old. She graduates this year.
Jesus.
Yes. So I'm like, whew, I mean, thank goodness for that little 4-year-old running around. I would have empty nest syndrome soon. And when I was younger, I'm like, by 36, 38, my kid's going to be out the house, and I miss them. So you dedicated so much of your life, investing in others, encouraging others, being a community staple in our culture. What inspired you to take such a leadership role with young children and teens?
So something that some people know, but not everybody knows, I'm an oldest child. I'm the oldest from my dad's side. I'm the oldest from my mom's side. So naturally, on top of being an Aquarius, we're just natural born leaders.
Absolutely.
I feel like I'm my best when I'm giving to others. Mm-hmm. And one thing about me, I feel like if we're going to complain about something, we have to step forward and help whatever we're complaining about. So when it came to children, I get tired of people complaining about this new generation. New generation is this and that, blah, blah, blah. Well, step forward and help. It's really that simple. So
yeah, it's like a lot of people that sit in my chair, especially the men, and I'll be like, y'all OGs need to do something. I ain't dealing with them. I might say something, they might shoot me.
Girl.
Change their opinion, change their mind, show them something different.
Absolutely.
That's how I feel. You know what I mean? So now taking that new role as a cheerleading coach, how is that too much more on your plate? Do you feel like you can still balance all of that?
I feel like it's destined for me to do it. Cheer has been my life my whole life. Okay. Like, I'm such a cheerleader. I've cheered since Little League. Actually, I started off in Camel and I went to the New Bethel Braves, and then middle school and high school. And my daughter is a cheerleader too. So
okay.
I felt like even with that, that's bonding for us because she's on the team. But I love cheer. So with everything that I'm doing is stuff that I've always done. So it's just so easy for me to give to that. Now, does it take a lot sometimes and take away from other things? Absolutely. But it's rewarding knowing that the kids are good,
Absolutely. So, it's been a big outrage and concern with the schools uniting. What do you feel like you can do and other leaders that are going to be joining that school can do to kind of like quiet the noise and show that we are going to be unified and we can move forward instead of, oh, I'm pulling my kids out of here. They're going to be fighting. They're going to be doing this. We're going to be doing that. But like I told some of my football players that are going to that school, I said, do you know you guys could be the #1 football team
Absolutely.
in the state? And I'm not talking about Northeast Ohio, but I'm talking about in the state. And I'm from Warren. So Warren D. Harding, I'm going to stick by them all day. Okay. But I feel like now we're going to get some good competition.
Yes, that's exactly how I feel about Youngstown. I'm not saying that I have anything towards the suburbs or anything like that, but we see them get treated so well. And I feel like our kids deserve that same thing. So even with the schools combining, it's not the kids. The kids are good. They combine well. They work well together. All of that stuff. It's the adults. We don't have enough adult support.
Okay.
Parents don't show up for their kids like they should. Parents aren't speaking life and love and unity into their kids. They're too busy talking about what happened in 1995 when they were a kid and now they're a dinosaur. So they trying to invoke their fears on the kids, and they have to stop doing that.
Yeah.
It's a new time, and everybody's connected anyways. We got social media. Everybody's following everybody from all over the place. The kids are good. We're going to be good. I have no doubt in that.
I do. So make sure you guys come out and support Youngstown Defenders. Football season is right around the corner. And so I'm super excited for this. I'm super excited to see the cheerleaders. I wasn't a cheer girl. I was in the band and I was in sports. But I would just be like, I wish I had like the motivation to do something like that. I was in gymnastics my whole life, so it wasn't like that I couldn't. I just felt like you guys were bougie. You know? I felt like cheerleaders and majorettes, especially majorettes, were just stuck up. And my cousin, Alicia Sparks, she was a majorette for Warren G. Harding. And I was just like, girl, you was so, She'd walk around in her little boots and her baton. And I'd be like, girl, I'll push you down.
I was the complete opposite. Really? I love everybody. Now, I'll say as I've gotten older, I'm a little bit more sheltered in the shell. But, you know, growing up, I call my house Sunshine and Rainbows. That's where I go to just be me. But I call my house Sunshine and Rainbows because I call myself the hippie too, because I'm just love life, flower power. I love my rainbows and, you know, groovy stuff. But I love everybody. Like, I never really was one to look down on everybody. Like, I wanted them to experience what I had, because my life growing up was so sunshine and rainbow. Like, I felt like everybody's life was like that. But you know, you get in school and you realize, like, everybody ain't got it like this. But I want to share. Here, have some of mine. I was that type of person.
True Aquarius. A true Aquarius, for sure. So, what do you feel like inspired you to become this woman? So, we talked about your children. We talked about the motivation after your grandmother passed. So, and I know you're not the same woman as you were in your early 20s till now. What inspired you to be who you are today?
That's a good question. I don't know. It's just, I pray, let God lead me. It's so random. I call my life the GPS effect all the time. So I'll pray to God and I ask him to lead me, and it'll be just so randomly. I'll be driving down the street and God be like, dude, go left. And I'll be like, why? He'd be like, hard-headed child. I said, do what I said. So a lot of the things that I've done is just God leading me, and that's what I wanted. And I set goals and I write them down and I hit them and look back a year later and be like, I did everything I said I was going to do. I mean, I don't know. That's a good question. I never thought about it like that. Like, what motivates me?
To get you to wake up every morning and put on all those hats. You know, you don't know what. You just get up and go. I don't even know why I asked the question, because I don't know either.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's just like, I mean, who gonna do it? If I don't, who gonna do it? And somebody need me. And I feel like my pastor always said, everything we go through is for somebody else. So what I have is going to help somebody else get through. So if I sit around here and lay around here, I'm not fulfilling my purpose that God set forth for me. So let me get up and get this, whatever it is I got to get in the daytime, you know?
Okay, well, let's kind of transition a little bit. One thing I've admired about strong people like you and I is that the world often sees like our strength, but not always what we had to do to overcome that. And if you're comfortable sharing, can you tell me about the recent passing of your father and the impact it had on you, you know, as far as the hats you wear, things like that? That's very impactful to lose someone that we're so close to.
Situation with my father is very, very complex because, again, I'm the oldest of his children. I'm his only girl. And my dad, he wasn't the best, but it was because he had vices and he had addictions, and you know, his life was the life that he created. But I had a mom that taught me not to hate him and to always love my dad and my stepdad, my sister and brother's dad, who considers me his daughter too. He also instilled that in me at a young age. Like, you never hate your father and speak down on him. So I always seeked out this relationship with him. I just wanted to know who my dad was. Like, he washed cars. Everybody knew Ty that washed cars on our door. So I would sneak and ride my bike down there just to see him. I would it was always like I just needed to be around my dad. So our relationship was what it was because I kept popping up all the time. And then as he got older and cleaned himself up, then he started reaching out more. But it's crazy that in his last days, I was the one that had to take care of him. And I was the one he took care of the least. And it's still a weird feeling about that. But truth be told, it gave me time to get to know him. I learned a lot of stuff about him. I learned that my dad is a lot of some of the guys that I dated. You know, we don't look at things like that.
Yeah.
Like, we forgive men over and over, but we're so angry at our own fathers for being the same type of man that we date, you know?
Yep.
And it was so rewarding knowing that we were able to build a closer bond in his last days. Like, he was able to depend on me. Now, some days he got on my nerves, him and my brothers, because listen, I don't want him to be on his bed passing either. And this is a hard transition, but this is life. It also made me more like open to knowing like we all have a purpose here, we all have things we have to do, and we're all gonna leave. Like, death doesn't feel so like creepy, weird, and like I don't know why it took for my father to pass for me to realize that, but I don't know, it's different. But he passed after my main father figure passed, so, and I had to take care of my main father figure alone. So it's just, I'm always taking care of somebody. I'll just say that. You know,
I feel like Aquarius are caretakers, and it's so funny that you and I share similar stories, because just last week I was talking about, how I miss my dad, but in all reality, it was like that too. My dad, divorced my mom before I was even born, questioned if I was even his. And it was like the total opposite. His vice was Jesus. Okay. So he was a pastor here, and we didn't have the greatest relationship. And when I became of age, he, asked God for like the Hezekiah prayer. He asked God for 15 more years, and God granted it to him. And I only was able to get to know him in the last 2 years before he passed. And, I remember my stepmom would call me, he's not taking his insulin. He talking about Jesus going, and I would come and lay down, you know what I mean? And give him his insulin. And I remember I am his only girl, and the choices that I was making back then, he didn't approve of. And his last words to me, literally before he was in an induced coma, was like, you're never going to be anything. You're never going to be anything until I change my life. And it hurt me, but for whatever reason, I wanted to spend those last moments. So he went into an induced coma on his birthday, which was Christmas, and he passed 3 days later. And I was in Cleveland Clinic the whole time. And I'll never forget, it was my turn to be with him. And I had my son, which was only 1 year old, and we were in ICU, and I was singing his song, and his favorite song, and he ended up passing while I was singing, and wanted to tell him so much, but I did, I did tell him, and I was the caretaker, you know what I mean? My brother held it down to take care of my stepmom and the house, but when it came down to his health, it was me. And I take care of even my older siblings, stuff like that. So we didn't have the best relationship. I didn't really know him that much. And it's the total opposite. Like, my aunt who raised me, she didn't talk bad about him, but the rest of the family did. So I kind of had these up and down opinions about him. And it's so crazy you say that too, because a lot of the men that I chose, I will say my kid's father is just like my dad. He's just like my dad. And I didn't know that I needed to work through with prayer and therapy and things like that. So, I feel like the resilience that we have, because there's no way that you tell me on this day that I'm not going to be anything, and I'm still longing for you until you transition.
Absolutely.
That was so hard, and maybe I need to call my therapist.
Listen, I don't understand why I mourn so hard with my father, because it was so crazy, and it's really crazy that our stories are very similar. He had a woman he was with for years. She gave me a headache most of the time, but I tolerated her, and it was a lot, and Like, it's like, why am I the one that got to take care of them? At the time I was going through school, I'm trying to get my degree I want to be a principal eventually. So I'm missing classes, I'm failing out certain classes, ended up not graduating, but passing with a C. But I'm watching my brother go to school to be an RN, and he's excelling in his programs and stuff. But my dad took care of you. He didn't take care of me. So I'm overdrafting accounts so I can make sure my dad is good, because I can't go to the shop and work like I need to because I'm at the nursing home with him, and I'm missing out on things, and y'all life is just doing well and flourishing, and meanwhile I'm over here struggling, and y'all think y'all gonna talk to me crazy. I had a week in that time I had to tell my dad, like, I'm not talking to you because you have lost your mind, and I don't know what you think this is, but you don't realize what I'm sacrificing for you.
Yep.
And I don't have to, because you did nothing for me.
Yeah. It's hard to kind of like stand up for yourself, because I really feel like what we were doing in the caretaking was trying to get any bit of a relationship that we could.
Absolutely.
Because we knew the end was coming.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And okay, so you didn't do anything for me for 18 years, but let me try. And I was to the end, cried, and I wasn't crying for the same reason my little brother was crying. You know what I mean? He got that. Yeah. If you guys watched the last interview, he taught my brother how to play basketball. He taught him things about life and things, and the way that I could feel close to my dad is if I would go to church on Sunday, and hear his teachings and preachings and things like that. And it was like, he was just like a wonderful father to my little brother. But for me, I'm like, I'm your only girl. I'm your baby.
Yes.
How could you leave me? Yeah. You know what I mean? But I cherish the good moments that we had, and I don't forget, the not so good moments, but I was glad that I rode with him to the very end. So, phew, woo! Fathers. But you know what? I encourage, the audience who, girls who have daddy issues, or their dad wasn't so present in their life, seek counseling.
Absolutely.
Seek counseling, seek God's face, so you are not chasing what I would say a ghost. Don't chase after what you're looking for in your father. You want a man to come to you and love you and protect you and things like that, even though you didn't get it when you were younger. So I really encourage that.
I agree.
Yes. So as a mother, and you said you had a boyfriend, a leader, how do you stay grounded with balancing your family, career, and the responsibility of pouring into so many others? How do you juggle all of that?
So I'm honest with everybody, and that took a lot, because I had a big problem. I ain't gonna say I have one. I had one with saying no. So I would take on things, and then I'll be mad and crying and in my room with depression and anxiety because I don't know why I took on all these things. And I had to learn that no was a complete sentence. So with my children, certain things, no, we're not doing it. No. With my boyfriend, when we got into a relationship, because this is the second time around. I met him when I was 19, and we separated, and now we're back together again.
Oh, it's giving Ashanti and Nelly. You see, ladies, I'm telling you, better double back.
And it's interesting because the person I was at 19, I'm not that anymore.
Correct.
So it's such a transition. Like, I didn't have a no stance then. I was just willing to do whatever. He was my first real boyfriend, my first fiance, everything. I have to be honest. When we got into a relationship, there's certain things I'm not doing. There's certain things that I am willing to do. But I'm a career woman right now. When you met me, I wasn't focused on a career. I didn't have no kids. It was just me and you. I was able to get up and go, do whatever you want me to do. But at this point in my life, I've worked so hard to get where I'm at. Everything that I have is everything that I prayed for. So I have to be a good steward over it. So everybody got to wait while I get together. I mean, it's that simple. Like, everybody is needing me for something, but I try to make sure I give everybody their own pieces and time. So it works itself out, and sometimes they mad, and sometimes I'm mad, and we got to work with each other. We got to figure it out.
Nice work-life balance. I love that. What advice would you give to me or someone in my shoes? I'm literally under 10 years of being in the cosmetology world, where I literally will be on vacation with business phone, like, okay, yep, when I get back, I'm gonna put you in the book, you know what I'm saying, or go in the book, you know what I mean? Whoop. And not prioritizing, my relationship, not prioritizing the children on vacation. And that's what I'm doing. I'm vacating from you clients, but I'm still drawn, or I feel like I'm going to miss something, or they're going to go find another loctician in the city and not wait for me to come back. What advice would you give to young people coming up in the game?
So again, no is a complete sentence. And you are entitled to have time to yourself. That's a big one for me. I have my booking site because I didn't want people calling me no more. I was tired of it. I get tired of the round and round of, what time would you like to come? They like, oh, give me a morning appointment. What about 7? Nah, 7 too early. Okay, well, what about 11? Oh, 11 is too late. Well, ma'am, you go in this booking site and you pick on your own. Whatever you see in there, whatever services is in there, that's what I do. The times that's available is the times it's available. You're not about to just take up all my time, because my kids deserve me as well. My boyfriend deserves me. I'm allowed to have a life to myself outside of myself. Business hours is business hours. You can't call Walmart and tell them to come in on their closing time. You can't call your doctor and tell them to come in. In any other service field, they'll charge you for house calls. I'm not going to your house. You're going to come in to see me.
Yep.
And it just is what it is. And what's for me is going to be for me. So if you leave and go somewhere else, sometimes that's a blessing. So go, please. Find what you need.
Yeah.
I'm like that with everything in my life. If I'm not what you need, find it elsewhere. It's just that simple. And I have to be okay in that, because a lot of times we be trying to hold on to things that really ain't doing anything for us. It's just taking up space, and we holding on to it, tearing our hands up, trying to hold tight, and it's trying to run. Go, run. And don't come back when you find out that whatever is over there is not what you thought it was. So I mean, that's my best advice that I could give. You can say no, and you can fire people professionally, and you're not calling me on my time. And I look at my phone even sometimes with certain family members. I'm going to look at it ring because I don't want to talk.
Yeah.
And if I don't want to talk, I'm not talking. And I don't care how many times you blow me up. You better mess around and not get blocked, because you're not going to make me do anything that I do not want to do. My time is my time. I could be sitting here typing on Facebook, and you call me and you like, I just seen you on Facebook, send me a text. I don't care. This is my time. I don't have to talk to you. I don't want to. I'm allowed to have some me. I have to give me sometimes.
Give me. I like that. So I'm going to have everybody that's tuning in repeat after me. No is a complete sentence. So for my fellow entrepreneurs, if you say, no, I'm not doing this, there is no because I have a doctor's appointment. There's no because I'm chilling today. It's just no. I need to repeat that to myself more times, because I think I struggle with that, because I still feel like I'm still new in the game, but I'm not.
You're not.
And I'm fulfilled week after week after week, but I'm like, I want more.
The first 5 years is the new stage.
Okay.
Once you pass that, you a veteran.
I'm a vet. Yeah. Okay. Alrighty. So many people, and including myself, I've always told you, even when I picked up, she helped me start my business, guys. She had dryers, and I went and picked them up, and I still use them to this day, just starting off. And so again, so many people admire you along with myself, but they don't, see your sacrifices. What would you tell 19-year-old Tanika, that you're trying to build a meaningful life, and then navigating when unexpected challenges happen?
19-year-old Tanika. that girl was a people pleaser. I did so much trying to make people choose me because I was a girl that was sunshines and rainbows. And a lot of people around me, they don't know what that's like because they were raised in survival. And I wanted people to feel me. So I was doing so many things so they could feel me. But, you know, people don't gotta accept what they don't want to accept. So if I had to talk to myself again, I would, go back and be like, hey, Nick, girl, just be you. And if they don't like the cup of tea, they don't have to drink it. Matter of fact, you ain't even tea. You might be a little margarita, who knows? But you have to have a certain type of taste to deal with you. And it's okay to be completely you. It's okay to tell people no. It's okay if people frown up their face. You don't have to make them feel comfortable. If they got to take bites and pieces of you, that's okay too. You know, just be you and not be so gullible and give everybody a chance and want everybody not to experience any type of hardship. Like, it's not your job to inconvenience yourself trying to make people not suffer the consequences for their actions. You know, people do things for specific reasons and they know exactly what they're doing. And that's why I'm a hermit now. Because people have taken so much and abused and used and made little sly comments and all kind of stuff. I made a post on Facebook the other day and I was saying how, I probably would have did so much better in life if I cussed people out. People got away with so much stuff and I was always a person like, you know what, you're dumb. And guess what? Karma gonna get you. So I never seeked out any type of like vengeance or anything. Like I never told people about themselves. I just stopped dealing with them if I didn't want to be bothered with them. But sometimes it's like, what would I have been like if I was the queen of cuss outs? Like, Jesus. Some people just like, I just let people just do anything. And they did. They always end up suffering the consequences of their actions. But they felt like they could come back and play again. And then I had to show them like, no. Yeah. So it made it harder. Like, a lot of people are the way they are because nobody told them the truth. So they think it's okay to keep doing the things that they're doing. So if it would have stopped with me, it might have stopped with everybody. And I think that's my motivation to keep going, because I don't want anybody thinking it's okay to do anything and then it's not. Yeah. Because I didn't stop it. Yeah. You know, I want to be the one to say like, boo, come here. Like we were talking about earlier. Yep. Come here. Let me holler at you real fast. Listen, I'm gonna be mama, auntie, whatever you want me to be right now. Now I think I'm auntie now. I ain't mama no more. You know, you go from mom to auntie. We still then aunties. You gonna be grandma. Then you gonna be OG. Yeah. Like, I think I'm auntie now. Yeah, so, we aunties. Like, come here. I get the kids. Bring your. What you doing? Knock it off. Yeah, please. You want me to whoop you? I'd be like this. I don't have no belt. I have on scrub. You want me to take this strap off this thing? Come here. Don't do that again. So we have to nip it in the bud so it does not continue on and on and on. I'm probably one of the hardest women teachers in the school because I'm like, no, you don't stop. I'm telling you now. I don't care if you don't want to hear. And they, well, what if you? No, I'm not letting them do nothing. Yeah, because the real world's not going to. Get into the real world and the real world is giving it to them right then and there and they're not sugarcoating anything. Now they're surprised, you know? And so that's love, being honest. You know, I want you to be the best you. I want you to be better than me. Absolutely. You know? I mean, just to piggyback on that, I think this year, and I think maybe crowning into my 40s, I'm learning that everybody's emergency isn't mine. Yep. I'm also learning now today
no is a complete sentence. And I'm also learning about boundaries. And I think right now in like my life with boundaries, people are looking at me like, why you switch up? You know what I mean? Why are you switching up? Like, oh, I've been doing this. I've been treating you this way. And now, oh, you have standards? Oh, you care about yourself? I do. I no longer want to please you so you like me.
Absolutely.
I no longer want to be your emergency. Who am I to get into interfere with what God's doing in your life?
Absolutely.
And if God is taking you through there, who am I to save you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think this year of transition and learning and setting good, healthy boundaries, it's hard for people to understand, and they think that we are switching up, but this is us.
Yes.
We're grown now.
Absolutely.
And we know what we want. We know what we like. We know what we don't like. And we know who spirits we don't want to be around. Really appreciate you coming on here. So I want to close with something that's probably going to be thought invoking for you. But we do believe here at Locked In Real Conversations that every person is writing their own legacy. So when your chapter is complete, what do you hope people will say about your life?
That's so funny that this is a question, because the other day I wanted to write my obituary. I know that sounds so crazy.
Oh my, are we twins?
This is so crazy. I was about to write a whole status about this. Like, when I pass away, this is what I want at my funeral. This is what I want to happen. Everybody wear rainbow, because I love rainbow. It's my favorite color.
Yeah.
I want everybody wear rainbow. I want them to say this in my bio. I want all my nieces and nephews' name, whatever is my profile picture, use that as my obituary picture, because I like that picture. But my thing that I would leave in this earth is how much I love my children. Like, they mean so much to me. Of course, always my children. I want people to know that I actually really care. I really love everybody. I don't know how to be a hater. Like, I want everybody to win, and I want people to know that and feel that. Like, Nika, baby doll, Neek, whatever you know me as, Miss Allison. I really genuinely want to see everybody win. And if I could put my hand in it to push you, to help you with whatever, I really want to be that person. I'm always giving and pushing stuff out and helping, and like, that's what I want my life to be. Like, I don't do anything for me. I don't do anything for clout. Sometimes I don't even want people to know what I do, because I don't want anybody like, oh, there she go trying to do stuff for attention. Like, I really don't. I love being busy. I love giving myself. I want people to know that they are not by themselves with anything. Like, I'm here for whatever somebody needs. They need to just come and cry and give me a hug. Like, I could feel all of that. I'm such an empath, and I have discernment. So I could feel when other people are not right. Like, I hear conversations before the words are even
spoken.
People are talking in their head, and I'm hearing their thoughts in their head. I know that sounds weird, but
no, I'm right there with you.
Yes,
I'm right there with you.
Like, God allowed me to be that person, and I want people to know that they're not alone, because I had my moments of feeling alone, especially being that oldest child. Only daughter. We go through our own things, and nobody acknowledges us. So but
God does. Don't forget that.
Oh, absolutely.
Don't forget that. Yeah.
Just they have me. That's my legacy. I want them to know. Remember what Miss Allison said? And Miss Allison used to always say, or remember Neek did so and things like that's what I want my legacy to be.
And then I just start watching you, and then like your post, and then how the kids talk about you. It was just like, that's somebody who I want to aspire to be, and I'm really thankful that you came on this show. Thank you for trusting me and us with your story. Thank you for not only allowing us to see you as a leader, an educator, a coach, a mom, but the woman, Tanika, behind all of those titles. I thank you for being raw with us. Your honesty reminds us that strength isn't the absence of hardship. It's choosing to keep showing up with love, grace, purpose, and even through life's most difficult seasons, through, deaths, marriage, divorces, whatever we're going through, we can still keep pushing forward. So on behalf of everyone that's watching here tonight, thank you for sharing your heart. To our audience for joining every Sunday at 8 p.m. I do want to thank you guys because we went from 12 subscribers to 127 subscribers in 2 days. And I'm super excited for that. Join us next week for Locked In Real Conversations at 8 p.m. I am your host, Unique. Until then, I want you guys to love deeply, love with a purpose, and never underestimate the power of real conversations. See you guys next week. Bye.